Thank you for having me on stage here in Amsterdam, where my roots are. So I was thinking a couple of months ago, Ag Amsterdam, I have to be there. To be honest, I thought I would be with you in the audience, and I ended up here on stage. Something happened, something went wrong in between. And thank you, Roman, for introducing the O16N as a topic, as a concept, because I'm not going to try to even pronounce, no, I'm not going to do that. O16N, in the end, is something that basically we did within the Rabobank. We built an organization format. So basically, the title of the presentation could have been #how to do it yourself. Hopefully, I will bring you in the next couple of 20 minutes some insights in the decisive choices we made in setting up the intelligence lab within the bank, and hopefully that will inspire you to just take it home and start doing it yourself. Because where we started 5 years ago, we had 3 thoughts on what we wanted to do. We wanted to think big, start small, and keep it simple. It might be a no-brainer, but these are the 3 things that were the basic concept of how we approached our challenge to setting up an intelligence lab where we can build, productionalize AI, but on a in a sustainable way. Because what we build in the Netherlands must be reused globally. That's our aim. So thinking big, starting small, keeping it simple, that's the red line throughout our journey. And of course, we had our challenges. Because in the beginning, we looked a bit like this. A workshop. We had 5 data scientists working in a team, using anything you would like to use. So every tool available was used, and it was a bit of a mess. Because we could do projects, one data scientist, handing over to another data scientist, no way, not so whatsoever. But we had our dream. What we wanted to become in the end was a factory, smooth factory, where processes are streamlined, where we can be transparent on how we work, what we've built, where we can explain what we've built. So we had our dream, but also our challenges. A couple of years later, when we were ready with the basic setup of our lab, and this is what I try to explain to other companies where I visit or teams within the bank as well, setting up an intelligence lab is not just turning on Azure, selecting some services. No, it's more than that. And I think the most important part of your lab is, in the end, the people you have in it. You have to think about your architecture. You have to think about your processes. You have to think about the products you build. But in the end, the people in your lab, those are the key ingredients to make your lab work. Because everyone wants to be a data superhero, right? You want to use all data available, either inside the bank or outside the bank, if you can. Within our team, we can. We set up a mandate within the bank where we can work within a specific environment with all data from inside or outside the bank in an unmasked form. What? Yes, we can. But we've set up a lab, tightly governed, strict where necessary, and flexible where we can. So we set up some perimeter security fences around the lab. We call it data can come in our lab easily. Oh, that's too fast. We call it what happens in the lab stays in the lab. In terms of data, we can receive a lot of data in the lab. We can build our products. You can look at how we work. You can not look at all our data, of course. But you can look at how we work. And the only thing leaving the lab is products like piece of code, feature code, APIs, applications, containers with a complete setup. But we will never give away our data. Because there are data owners within the company, and we are not the data owner. We have to safeguard that the reuse of the data of those data owners is done properly. So we have some governance within the lab, checking on reuse, checking on GDPR compliance. Also the ethical part of it. The important thing to remember is when we started off setting up this team is we trained our people in awareness on privacy, awareness on ethics. Having them understand that what you do with data is not just numbers. There are people behind those numbers. If your people start understanding those kind of concepts and use that in their daily work, then you'll have people building stuff, but also in the morning, brushing their teeth, looking in the mirror, what I've built yesterday, do I want to have this? And if you don't, there must be an open culture for them to step up and tell to us, I have doubts on this. You need these kind of insights from your own people, they are also clients, to understand what you build, what you bring to the world, and make sure that the diversity of insights is made for better use. You need that diversity in your team. We also had a key strategy, because we started off as a, let's say, startup within the bank. 5 years ago, we were a startup. We had just had five people within the team. Would you imagine? Bigger teams, working on BI, working on analytics for years, afraid that we were conquer their world. No, of course not. We were just with 5. But we had to make them enthusiastic on working with data, working with new technology. So what we said is, let's work in a manner that we first are going to show our business partners how could it work. You have a business proposition, you have an idea, you have a problem to be solved. How can this work? First of all, let us explain us how we envision a solution for your problem. Let's build it together. And in the end, make sure that we give you the solution and make sure that you can work with it yourself. So enablement of doing it yourself made us a nice team, because we were there to help them instead of conquering their world. This could only work if there was a real 50-50 collaboration with the business. And that's basically what we did in the beginning. Business partners coming up, yeah, I have a problem to be solved, and here it is, and I'll see it in 2 weeks or 4 months, I don't know, I don't care. If you solve it, fine. We turned down those projects, because we cannot solve a problem if you don't have the domain expertise in our team. So we need you as a business partner to collaborate with us and make sure that we understand the problem properly. So let's work together. And it was a key element. We turned down projects where business partners didn't want to pitch in, didn't want to work with us, didn't want to collaborate. And the simple explanation was, if we don't do this, we can't hand over the solution. Another element in our strategy was, because in the beginning, 5 years ago, what is big data? What is advanced analytics? People really didn't know. First assignments were, okay, I have this dashboard. It's based on a year of data. Can you build me a dashboard with 10 years of data? Because then it's big data. No. But we had to make our data scientists enthusiasts to really pick up that assignment as well. And the strategy was under-promise and over-deliver. So we made our data science enthusiasts know that you can build a lot more instead of this assignment. So fix the problem, but we had time-boxed our projects in 8 to 10 weeks. I said, I know you can fix this problem in just 4 weeks. I know it. You're capable of doing that. But then again, you'll get 4 weeks off to just do anything you'd like with this data. It makes something really, really differentiating. So what we did is, at the end of the period, 8 weeks, 10 weeks, we delivered what we promised, but also gave them a little present. Just something to think about. Here's a little present. Take it with you. Unwrap it when you're back at in your own department. Just take a look at it. And let us know if you like it. Well, within a week. Hello, want to start a new project, but that present you gave us. So that was also making them enthusiastic on what we could do. So not threatening, we're conquering your world. No, we'll show you what we can do. This is one of the key elements that made the wheel spinning within the bank, and departments getting more and more enthusiastic about in collaborating with us. And they appreciated the way we did it. So as of this day, we have a lab with a couple of building blocks that matured over time. I mean, this is work of, let's say, 5 years of maturing. But we've built a lab, an advanced data analytics platform with proper governance. We're audited recently. We passed the test. Platform choices. Also there, if you just listen to your data scientists, they want it all. But make proper choices together. Keep it simple. Make sure that you choose a platform, and that is one of the key differentiators throughout the years. We started off with every data scientist having their own platform, their own toolbox, so to say. Sharing, reusing, things Rowan already mentioned in 016N, your project. Having different toolboxes doesn't work if you want to deploy to production, if you want to do a handover. So the choice we made a couple of years ago is we started using the Dataiku platform for a reason. Because we had a good way of working, but we needed tools to support a platform to support us in enablement of reuse, collaboration of different data science expertises, capabilities in one team, in one project. The platform helped out in that in speeding up our onboarding of new data scientists from, let's say, 2.5 months to just 2 weeks. Productivity went up in the first year of using the platform. Well, we gained a day, a week per data scientist. That's huge. And why? Not because of a perfect platform, but a combination of a platform with a good way of working, proper way of working, clear understanding on the deliverables that you need if you run a project. We're now at the phase that we are teaching business to reuse that way of working. So we are basically an education plan. So having those building blocks, having that platform, having all the service and the experience in using them. On the other hand, the business with their domain expertise, the data itself, but also to drive the business ambition to build new, better products, data-driven. The combination of those two come together in what we call the Intelligence Lab. We set up an innovation funnel where we also guide you through the process of development. A lot of people are taking pictures. These slides will be shared, don't worry. The innovation funnel contains a lot of quality assurance. Quality assurance before you bring something to production. A data scientist builds a solution. We do peer reviews, deep dives. What is it that you've built? Explain it to me. Use other data scientists to give you feedback on that. We've done a lot in making our team comfortable in sharing their thoughts on a solution. You will be surprised how much just transparency on what you've built will bring you in learnings, findings, and having the comforting idea of what I built today, a colleague will review it and will help me to make it better. The stages in projects help us to consider and taking step by step, bringing a model to production, bringing an application to production, an API to production. It doesn't matter what you build. If you follow these steps, for us, it helps in full transparency and auditability on the project, the phasing of the project. What has been done? What's the, which data has been used? Is it checked if we can reuse this data? So instead of having a lot of refinements in Scrum Agile, do it over and over and over again, we've built a way of working. Yes, we work in Scrum Agile with time boxing periods of 2 weeks, doing increments, but the toll gates, the stage gates, that's a real go, no-go. And it really lifts up the quality of the products you build, and at least knowing that you can run it in production, deploy it to production. We've done this so far on-premise, and it works fine. But again, think big, start small. So starting small was in the Netherlands. At the moment, we're looking at Collaboration with projects throughout the world, globally. Africa, North America, Brazil, Australia, we don't care. The strategy we have there is, now that we know how to work with tools, we can have all data in our lab on-premise, but regulatory boundaries, not all data can be processed in Europe. So our aim, so what we're aiming for now, and we've taken our first steps this year, is we want to bring the lab to the data. So we have a working concept. Now we want to bring the lab to the data. So wherever the data is globally, that's where we start up a lab environment. We bring our expertise. We have the domain expertise in Africa, for instance, on a project for farmers. Why not? Does everything have to be in the Netherlands? No. We can share our thoughts, use our network to do it globally. Because we are in more or less 40 countries throughout the world, so a lot of opportunities. We're in basically every part of the food and agri chain. Yeah. So the network we have and the capabilities to join forces are quite important. And I think the network we have and the capability we have, that's adding it together, brings solutions that we now cover in a huge program which we call Data for Food. Because we are big financial, of course. We also have a lot of data in the complete food and agri chain. Let's do something with that data. Let's make something better with that data. That's what we call our program Data for Food. And this is where we do a couple of projects where, for instance, a lot of insights for food and agri researchers they use for their insights, building reports. But what if we use those insights, and it's a lot to handle, if we just bring this to a farmer on his mobile, and just with the relevant information for that particular farmer. What if we could do that? Well, we're nearly there. So we're trying to give something back to our clients as well, in terms of we know what happens in your area, we know what happens in your company. So let's, instead of being at the kitchen table, help you out on your mobile device. Why not? We can. Technology is there. But also looking at sensor information, looking at how can we increase your productivity, so yield analytics. Really cool stuff. And a lot of data scientists who started to work for a bank, ooh, a bank, boring. There's a lot to do within a bank. And these are the differentiating projects we do to also have a balance in, okay, sometimes you have some boring stuff, sometimes you can really go out into the field. Literally, we've been with a couple of data scientists in the field, looking at crop. Oh, so that's lettuce. Oh, okay. We've been there, and we are there, and we want to be there. So it's quite a cool program. We're starting this up, it's building up, and you'll hear from it. Another thing we're proud of as a solution is, and this is for our retail clients in the Netherlands at the moment using their banking app, we want to give them a bit more insight and understanding of their financial well-being. So just in the app, and in a matter of microseconds, every payment you do, it'll get a label, a category, so you can better understand your own financial position. We're quite proud on this solution because third parties can do this. Well, they cover almost 70% of the transactions, and they can label it with an accuracy of only 80%. We're at 90 plus. Quite good at it. So we've built some cool stuff. We've done a lot of things, learned a lot. It took us 5 years. And hopefully, this talk gives you a bit of simple insights, choices you can make tomorrow if you go back to work. And remember a couple of things that I would like to give you and take away with you. Keep it simple. It's one of the key things to remember. Diversity in your team. Make sure that a lot of people are reflecting on solutions. Use that diversity in your team. It's real importance. And also, in everything you do, aim for transparency, openness. You might be surprised in what you'll learn from it. I hope you got inspired, get some ideas to take home with you. Closing thoughts, things you want to discuss, I'm here for the rest of the day, and otherwise, like a cup of coffee, hook up with me on LinkedIn, and I thank you for your attention.